Welcome to another Online Personals Watch interview. I'm joined today by Tim Feeley, who is the Director of User Experience for Manhunt, and Adam Segel, who is the CEO of Manhunt. Gentlemen, thank you for your time today. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So you've taken an unusual approach with Manhunt, with mobile. So let's talk about that. You've actually gone with m.manhunt. Why did you go the online route instead of the native route?
Well, the primary reason was the content restrictions. We are an adult dating site, and there are a lot of content restrictions to be in the Apple Store or in the Android market. And we found that we did release native apps, and our users didn't really like them because you couldn't access the majority of our content. So we decided to go the mobile web route, which has been tremendously successful for us.
Do you think Apple ever changed their mind? I mean, they basically don't allow adult content at this stage. How was the conversation with Apple?
Well, Apple's elusive. They don't really have conversations with you. They just tell you no. And occasionally they'll tell you no if perhaps, they'll tell you the reasons why. And of course, if it's a technical reason, you can fix that. But they just tell you that the content is what it is. And their content restrictions are also a bit subjective.
I believe it's we may not be able to define it, but we'll know it when we see it, or something along those lines, which makes it very difficult for us to stay in their good graces. So we try to think like someone at Apple might, and sometimes it's not always successful.
And this particular one of the reasons that we went this route was not revenue based, but now that we are down this route and we see 40% of our traffic using mobile, I'm glad that we don't have to pay 30% of our revenue to the Apple Store. People are paying us directly on the phone, and it's terrific.
How does that work?
Well, they use their credit cards. They go through our regular credit card processing. We just made a mobile version of our page.
So instead of paying 30%, you're paying 3% or so?
Exactly.
Very nice. How does that work with Android?
The same. Our users tend to be more iPhone than Android. We just have a smaller Android base, but we had the same issues. The content was restricted. We couldn't offer things, so we went the mobile route, and it's been terrific. And they similarly pay the same way.
The element that you're kind of missing out on is the element of discovery. People going on Google Play and looking on for the iPhone store and looking for apps like yours and not finding you, and they're probably looking directly for you, but they'll discover you on manhunt.com, right? They'll know about m.manhunt.
Yes, fortunately we have a tremendous brand throughout the world, so we're able to get the word out about our product. But you are correct, we do not have that advertising platform. We do have native apps though that are available, and people can download them. They just don't have the experience we want our users to have because of all the censorship. So we have that ability if people want it, but the majority of people use us through the mobile web.
So have you dealt with location with HTML5?
Well, luckily, HTML5, especially on mobile platforms, do support querying for a mobile user's GPS coordinates. And technically, there's a degree of precision that's a bit less when you're requesting it via HTML5 versus a native app, but for our intents and purposes, it's perfectly suitable. Really the only kind of annoyance is that when you're running a browser and you're requesting location, every time you launch a website that requests your location, your preference to permit that doesn't persist. So every time you launch our app, either if it's from a home screen shortcut or from typing it in directly, you are prompted again for your location. So that's probably really the only difference between the two experiences that even we've been able to notice. The precision as far as we and our users are concerned are great. It's just that extra prompt that's kind of annoying, but luckily it's just a tap and you're on your way.
Which, from a user privacy point of view, some days you might be in the mood to give away your precise position, and other days perhaps it's a good thing to, in some ways, to have that granularity of permission.
Sure, yeah, it certainly can be.
How accurate is it then on HTML5?
I believe the last we've just anecdotally discovered was roughly a city block, kind of at the least, at the most fuzziness of a location. So if you're in Manhattan, that might be a problem, and maybe you'll have to go walk a little extra in the rain. But generally, for most people, that's more than suitable for getting an idea where someone else is.
Because there's an argument of vicinity versus location. I mean, most people, when it comes to mobile dating, really don't want specific location. From what I'm hearing, vicinity is of more interest. So as long as you're within a 20-minute drive, it seems reasonable, really, or 15. If you're in a city.
For our users, it's more like a 5-minute walk, but still, that's within the the scope of what we're able to offer.
What limitations have you found with HTML5 versus the apps then, the native?
The largest limitation, I would say there are two, and that is the notification system and the push notifications that come with both Android and iPhone, and that we're unable to have those, so that when people get new messages or when a friend of theirs is online or whatever, they can't get that push notification. The other is the ability to upload photos. It's perfectly fine on Android, but Apple has blocked that. There is no way through a browser to upload a photo. So our solution to that is what do they call them? An app that's
Oh, so there's kind of there are companion apps out there
sorry.
that you can, luckily, similar to how Facebook allows you to authorize another application, switch to the Facebook app and switch back to where you were. We have applications that facilitate that. It's just not all that straightforward to use, especially when you don't have that app installed on your phone to begin with. So it's kind of a disruptive experience to get your photo.
It's not the most ideal, but we're doing the best we can within the confines of the Apple structure. So people will have to, even if they won't have to, they can use us through the mobile web all they want. But if they want extras like push notifications or photo uploading, they're going to have to download an app for that.
And perhaps that will change in time. You would think they.
That's one advantage that Android has over Apple.
Have you got a solution for BlackBerry? Have you?
We do not. I mean, we do. You can use Manhunt on the BlackBerry, but it's a pretty rudimentary, very old mobile system that isn't pretty and doesn't have location and all of that. Every time we query our members, it's really members abroad that have BlackBerry. In the States, they just don't seem to have it as much or really care. It is something that we're thinking about and is on our radar, but top priority is Android and iPhone.
How about international? Have you seen particular growth of mobile in international markets?
Our number one biggest international market for mobile is Australia, where just short of 60% of our logins come from mobile devices. And they adopted it instantly and quickly, much more quickly than anyone else. We also have great adoption in Spain and England from the mobile product. And when compared to the United States or some of the other markets, they're a little bit ahead. South America, unfortunately, they don't have as much of a penetration yet of smartphones. They don't have the iPhone, Android as regularly as people do here, so we're seeing a smaller percentage from those countries. Those are the countries in which a BlackBerry would most likely be, a BlackBerry app would be helpful.
And in the USA, in terms of modes of payment, so it's just, have you got a preferred provider you could recommend?
Well, we use Lidl as our credit card processor, and a combination of Lidl and Global Collect. And Global Collect helps us with all of our international billing, and Lidl does our domestic, and we've been very happy with both of them, and they've been great to work with. So we give them a ringing endorsement.
Now, when did you launch the mobile app, actually? It wasn't that long ago, was it? The HTML5 app?
December?
I want to say it was. Yeah.
So like less than a year.
It was less than a year since we've had the M. Manhunt out there. So perhaps it was around November, December.
And how did you get the word out? Do you just? I guess you've got such a large user base. It's not like you have to grow to critical mass, but.
Right. So fortunately for us, there were two primary ways. One was when people started accessing Manhunt through mobile browsers, we took them directly to the mobile version. So they found it that way. And then also we message all of our customers, we put it up on our website. Some gay blogs and stuff would write about it and start talking about it, so people got to hear what it did and what it was.
And what features are you most proud of, Tim?
I think that a feature that we're most proud of. I think that we're still rapidly improving to this day, but I'm proud of how we are able to integrate our millions of desktop members who aren't yet using mobile or choose not to use mobile, and exposing them on the Manhunt mobile experience. So almost for free when we launched, the first guy to open up Manhunt Mobile on his device was able to see all of our desktop guys and communicate with them just as he would a mobile user. So the fact that from a feature set, we try to be very much on par with Manhunt and extend that experience to your mobile device. But I think more along the experience lines is really kind of bringing together all of the mobile guys and all of the desktop guys right into the palm of your hand. And we're doing more and more over the next weeks and months to make that experience even more cohesive.
And you think the iPad would be... Sorry.
I would just say from a more macro level, the thing that I'm most proud of with it is it allows people to use Manhunt the way they want to use Manhunt. It eliminates all the censorship. And that was the number one complaint we got from customers. And so I'm thrilled that we figured out a way to have people access us on their phones and find people that are 30 feet from them or 7 miles just the way they wanted to, but to be able to find it with the full content available to them.
And what's your thoughts on the iPad? How does that fit into your product roadmap?
Well, we are available on the iPad right now.
Our interface is optimized to an extent and is becoming more and more optimized for the larger screens and higher resolutions of especially the new iPad. And we are seeing a slight but steady increase of iPad traffic. And I think just as our plan with the Manhunt mobile product is to continue evolving with the features of the platform and the new devices that are emerging, we're planning to do the same with tablet devices as well. So really making the most out of that screen real estate and really delivering experiences for people when they're on their iPad, probably have a different mentality than when they're on their phone. You might need to just quickly check a message when you're on the subway. When you're on the iPad, you might be at home watching TV. You might want to have multiple conversations going. So we really want to continue doing our research and really release features that are situationally appropriate for when you have that kind of larger screen and still are kind of very still are using it in a very touchscreen fashion.
Have you really seen much difference between the demographics of your mobile users versus your usual users, your online users? Does the age skew younger at all?
A tiny bit, but not really noticeably. I mean, we're really seeing a very broad user base of the mobile, just like the desktop. We're seeing guys in their 50s and 60s using their mobile apps, their 40s, just like we are the 21-year-olds to the 28-year-olds.
We also to one of your earlier questions was us getting the word out about the new Manhunt Mobile, and when we were ready to release worldwide, one of the things that we did to facilitate easier access to this better experience was detect your browser when you're visiting just bare manhunt.net. So if you were on a browser that had that was supported, so if your Android or iOS device accessed manhunt.net, we would detect that and offer you our new Manhunt mobile experience and give you an option to go back if you'd like. So we found that, and I'd imagine that would be one of the contributing factors to engaging users of all ages and demographics by just kind of offering them this experience by default. And I think as a result, we've seen a pretty terrific uptick across the board.
Now, in terms of user acquisition as well, are you finding that you're acquiring members via mobile? Are you actively advertising and marketing out to mobile as well?
We are. Yes, we are advertising on through our Google channels, and we advertise mobile separately. We haven't found any tremendous mobile channels on which to advertise. Our competitors don't let us advertise on their apps, so it's been a little bit difficult. But we are seeing a steady increase in people joining through the mobile phone.
We've probably got a few of them watching this interview, so what message would you have for them?
For our competitors,
Yes.
good job.
Regarding advertising and, swapping advertising.
I can't really pressure them to let us advertise on their app because I probably wouldn't let them advertise on mine. So, but I would tell them that they do a great job, and I'm very glad for them because it's helped us all to evolve to a much better mobile place for users to be able to have the solutions available.
Who do you hold in very high esteem? Who else out there you think is doing a good job on mobile?
Well, I think Grindr obviously started the trail and did a really nice job with it. I also think the guys at Scruff do a terrific job of having the app really be readily accessible, easy to use, and and nice. They both, however, suffer from the Apple content restrictions, and that is where we're able to come in and offer people whatever content they want.
How would you say Manhunt Mobile is going to look in a year's time? What's your goals and vision for the mobile product?
Well, Timmy likes to redesign things every 5 or 10 minutes, so why don't you answer that?
So we really want to find the best possible experience for that leverage both just the size and scope of the massive Manhunt database of members and all of the information that they've provided, and to really pair that nicely with the fact that we're making it easier and easier to offer your precise location coordinates. So, we've always kind of struggled. Are users willing to travel the extra 5 miles to find a guy who's exactly their type, or, all right, it's 2 a.m. at the bar and this guy's 20 feet away, I guess he'll do. If there's some way for us to...
we found that answer,
Yeah.
which is that they won't go 5 miles.
Yes.
No.
Can we...
They'll take a lesser guy who's closer than a hotter guy who's further. It's just...
And through member acquisition and kind of improving that user experience, can we really emerge as a leader in connecting you with the best possible match as close to as possible that you're willing to travel? And we hope to do that, and with the evolving platforms for developing rich, almost app-like experiences where the app is extremely responsive. We're able to take full advantage of gestures, of device hardware. We're hoping that as we see platforms evolve and development tools evolve, that there will really be it'll be much more of a seamless experience from using our mobile site to using a native app. And we're seeing a lot of advances in that field, and are actively seeking them out. So we hope to do that, and we hope to do that across, as I mentioned before, the variety of platforms across which you might access Manhunt. So making tablet devices really use that extra screen space, making the new Android with the brilliant screen, taking as much advantage of that as we can, and looking for ways to extend the experience onto other devices, such as BlackBerry Touch is high on our radar, and something that we're able to move to next on some of the new Windows devices. We hope to improve the experience, the interface, and the number of devices across the spectrum.
One other challenge that we've had that we hope to continue to improve on in the next year also is that we started from a website which was much more intricate and had many more components to it than our competitor apps like Grindr and Scruff, which are much more simple. So as people are using our apps more and more, they are asking us for some of the features that we haven't yet incorporated in the app. So we need to figure out intelligent ways without cluttering up the app to be able to continue to offer everything that you can do on the Manhunt website on the phone. And that's a challenge, but a fun one, and something that we're continuing to work on.
I just realized there's one question which I've not asked anybody yet, and it's regarding Windows. I actually went to a conference recently and saw Windows Mobile exhibiting, and I was very impressed. They've done a nice job with it.
They
What's your
have.
thoughts on the future? Well, how do you think they're going to be easy to work with, hopefully?
I don't know. We haven't really looked into designing for them yet, have we? For that platform?
No, the we've just seen such a low number of users. Although steadily and slowly increasing, generally a pretty low number of users using that. So we definitely want to offer our experience in as many places as we can. I mean, in terms of just considerations, traditionally, any web developer who you ever mention Internet Explorer to will probably begin pulling out his hair and saying, "Damn it, this is just a challenge to get it to work correctly on IE as well as all these other browsers." So we're hoping that the browsers included on the Windows mobile phone kind of make the porting of the existing Manhunt mobile app as painless as possible, because we obviously would like to capture that audience as well. So it'll be extremely interesting to kind of see how the hardware, how the gestures, how the different mobile components of the experience map to the technologies we have in place currently. But once we're able to kind of discover the best way to approach that, I know that we're looking forward to, like I said, bringing Manhunt to all devices.
Yes.
Great. Adam Segel, you're the CEO of Manhunt, and Tim Feeley, you're the Director of User Experience. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's nice talking.